your chick come close to me, she ain't going home when she supposed to be. I'm getting money like I'm supposed to be. I'm getting money like I'm supposed to be. Oh, on my close to me.
Welcome back to my channel, everyone. I don't know why that was my intro. Usually it's not that at all. And welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, great. I have a new person to embarrass myself in front of, you know, because I'm a terrible YouTuber. Welcome back to my channel, guys. Today's gonna be a little bit of an interesting video. This is a story time. This story time is about my best friend, my current best friend. She is like my sister, my rock, my everything. Okay, so it'll be 10 years this month where me and Hailey have been best friends. I am trying very hard on this video because at first I didn't want to offend anybody, but then I was like, I don't give a... Okay guys, so me and Hailey met when I was 5 years old. I don't even know. I was 4 or 5 and she was 5 or 6 or something like that. Anyways, so we met and we met through church. So I never really went to church up until I was about 5. And when I went to church, Hailey was there. There was a girl named Hailey and then a girl named Lakin. And I immediately became friends with Hailey and Lakin because they were around my age. And, you know, that's fine. Anyways, so regarding me and Lakin, we were good friends there for a while. But then after about 2 years, she moved away to some other state. And we don't really hear from her ever. But our moms have her mom on Facebook, so we see pictures of her all the time. By the way, she is gorgeous. If she ever, for some reason, decides to watch my videos, she's fucking gorgeous. Anyway, so back to Hailey. So me and Hailey were really good friends, and it was like that for a really long time. We went to each other's birthday parties, we had sleepovers, we basically did everything that friends do, like around our age, like from ages 5 to like 10, that's what we did. And then around 10 or 11, we started getting older and wanting to do our own things. You know, like people start getting independent when they get into like double digits or whatever. Well, just because we were independent didn't mean that we were just gonna give each other up, because we loved each other like we were sisters. So basically, we're up to about age 10 now, and around that age we did start to want to be more independent, but you know, we still made time for each other, and we definitely saw each other every Sunday for church. And at that point I started getting, it was a rough time for me because that was the time where I was having things going on with my dad, and I'll make another video with my dad. I keep saying that I'll make another video about everything with my dad, but it's such a hard video to make because it's such a sad subject, and it's a subject that can make people sad, and then it's a subject that can also make people mad, but there's nothing that they can do about it now, so I would rather just keep that to myself until I'm comfortable talking about it. So there's that. Anyways, so around 10, me and Hailey, we only ever saw each other like during youth group or church, and we never really saw each other that often, but we did have contact, like we would text and whatnot. Well, let's move to like, let's see, what age? Let's go with 12. So around the time that I was 12, I took her on vacation with me. Hailey at the time had very strict parents, and I mean, that was mostly her dad, just because he was the overprotective dad that didn't want his daughter getting in trouble or getting hurt or anything like that, so we completely understood it, but it just pissed us off time to time, because like, what am I gonna do, murder her? We were about 12 and we went to Myrtle Beach, and we left like the second week after school started. Mind you, this was my first time going to middle school, right? So I went the first week, and then the second week I was gone, and then I came back the third week. So that happened. Anyways, we went to the beach. Everything was so perfect. It was warm outside. It wasn't too hot. It wasn't too cold. The ocean was so warm. It was like amazing. Anyways, so yeah, just thought I should put that in there. So we went on vacations together. We've gone to the beach. We've gone to hotels just to stay at hotels. We've gone to each other's houses. We've gone, I don't even remember where else we've gone. So moving up to age 13. Age 13 was the time where I got my very first real boyfriend. And if you don't know what I mean by a real boyfriend, I mean like a boyfriend that you kiss and love and whatnot. Hi, yes. So me and this guy were not together in 2018. It was 2017. I don't know why I kept saying 2018, but it was 2017, so keep that in mind. This is a very touchy subject, which is another thing I asked Hailey about. I asked her if I could put this in here, and she was like, yeah, sure, I don't care, that's fine. Okay, so I got tired of standing up, so I'm sitting down now. We went to the beach, everything was perfect, and now this is my first real boyfriend. Now, I thought that I was in love with this person. Like, everything was perfect. It was like a relationship that you see in the movies. Everything was perfect. We had no arguments, nothing like that. Nothing bad happened. Well, we got together in June of 2018, I think, yeah. And, everything was smooth and everything was fine. Hailey knew that I had this boyfriend because I introduced them on the 4th of July, because we all meet up in my hometown for the parade and then the fireworks and whatnot and blah blah blah. Anyways, so I introduced them because Hailey was like, my big sister, like, I want to approve of him, Okay, not what I planned. Anyways, so the 4th of July hits and everything's pretty cool, They meet each other, and he didn't particularly like her because he has heard of her before, but never talked to her or anything like that. But he had heard of her and didn't like what he had heard about her, so he didn't want me hanging out with her, which was kind of weird, but it never slipped my mind or anything like that, because me and this guy had been together for only like a month and a half by the time the 4th of July rolled around. So a couple months goes down the road and everything's fine, so let's jump to October. October hits and I want to go to my hometown again because we have all events for everything in my hometown, and I wanted to meet Hailey for like trick-or-treating and stuff because I wanted to see my nephews. She had, I don't know, people there that were trick-or-treating, so I wanted to meet up with her. Well, I made the mistake of telling him that I was going to meet up with her, and then like this whole argument started. Mind you, we had never had any type of argument prior to October of 2018. So I was just like, I don't see why you're getting so mad. And he was like, because she's a whore. I've only heard bad things about her. I've not heard one good thing about her from anybody except for you, and that's just because you tell me that she's your sister and whatnot. And I was just like, okay, well, I understand if you don't like her, but we've been friends for like 8 or 9 years, so I'm not just gonna drop her, you know what I'm saying? So Christmas rolls around, and obviously Christmas is like a bunch of family crap and events and stuff, so obviously we've had events at the church and my house and her house and stuff, and this is still 2018, and I don't know, things just started getting rocky around Christmas, and I don't know why, I don't know what it was, but there was nothing really that I could do about it. I was doing the best that I could to be a supportive girlfriend, and he was doing the best that he could to be a supportive boyfriend. And I feel like the only thing that was really getting in the way was that we weren't really talking to each other. I mean, obviously we were talking to each other in the sense of we were like texting each other and calling each other and whatnot, but like actually talking about how we felt and our feelings. So after Christmas, things got a little bit better for a little bit. If you guys don't know, my birthday is January 27th. January 27th is the day that me and this guy broke up, which was very tragic for me because my first love or whatever, we break up on my birthday, you know what I'm saying? Let's lead up to that. Okay, so let's go with like the first or second week of, I don't even know what I'm talking about. The first or second week of January was the week that it was starting to get, I wouldn't say rocky so much as painful. So it's kind of hard to explain unless you know the story, like everything leading up to the story. Like, it's hard for me to explain, which is really bad because this is a story time and I'm supposed to explain everything, you know? But the biggest part in this story has to do with this. But we'll get there. So honestly, I'm getting a little emotional talking about this because this was like one of me and Hailey's worst times in our lives, which honestly gets her emotional, gets me emotional, gets our parents emotional, because you know, you're friends with somebody for almost a decade and then you just stop talking, have no contact, don't want to see each other, don't want to talk to each other. Anyways, so me and this guy started arguing the night before my birthday, which would be the 26th of January of 2019, so this year. So we start arguing really bad the day before my birthday because I wanted to go to my hometown for dinner with my mom, and then my mom dropped me off at the park with some friends. And it was really for a dumb reason, and he knew that. He just wanted to pick a fight for whatever reason, I don't know. But what ended up happening was I was hanging out with one of my girlfriends, and I think she's either been on my channel before or she's gonna be in the future, but anyways, so I'm hanging out with her, and then all of a sudden these guys come up to us, and we know them, we, you know, friends with them or whatever the case. I mean, we didn't talk to them like on the daily or anything like that, but we had gone to school with them and whatnot, so everything was fine, you know. And then we just hung out with them, and somehow the guy that I was with found out that I was hanging out with other guys that weren't him, and I completely understand that, okay? And I told him, I completely understand that you're mad that I'm hanging out with other guys, but you have to understand that me and Carly, the girl that I was hanging out with, aren't very rude people when it comes to people that we know. So if somebody comes up to us and it's like, hey, hi, hello, how you doing, you know, we're not gonna be like, get the fuck away from us, you know. It's gonna be like, oh, hey, how have you been and whatnot. So we're actually gonna have to carry on a conversation because we're just that nice, which really sucks at times, but you know, we've gotten through it. So basically what happened after that was it was nothing but a night of arguing. My shoe fell. We did nothing but argue that night, and it was terrible. And I don't know why I'm only talking about our relationship. Like, I don't have to explain our entire relationship, but at the same time I do because it involves Hailey. So let's jump. So my birthday hits, and my birthday was a success all the way up until about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. At 4 o'clock in the afternoon, he left me. It was kind of a mutual thing because I didn't talk to him at all until that 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And he was like, I don't think I can do this. You were hanging out with other guys and whatnot. It was something that he couldn't let go. And I kind of get that, but at the same time, that's like a dumb reason to break up. You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it was that he was done and wanted to pick a fight so that I would just leave, or if I was just done and wanted to pick a fight so that I could just leave, or what it was. But I did love him. I truly, truly loved him, and I do believe that he loved me the same way that I loved him. It's just, it was such a difficult situation because that night he texted me, and his mom lived down the road from Hailey at the time. And I can imagine that you guys know how this story is gonna go. we were in that argument, and we were about to break up, but then we didn't. He convinced me not to at that time, and I was like, okay, well then something got brought up again about something on social media, and it was just really bad. So he told me, well, I'm going to Hailey's and I'm gonna cuddle with her and watch movies on the couch with her, and if something happens, then something happens. Imagine my sweet little 13-year-old self in love with somebody. I thought that I was in love with somebody, you know, it was a perfect relationship and everything else up until, you know, that little last bit. Well, I made a huge mistake. I told him to go, and if he screwed up, then I was gone forever, and he was not going to get me back. Well, he went, and I don't know what happened. I don't want to talk about what happened. I swear on everything he slept with her, or whatever the case may be. She swore up and down that she didn't sleep with him, and that she didn't sleep with him until after me and him were broken up and they were together. You know, it was just so confusing. So anyways, we were broken up and they had gotten together, and they were together for like a few months, but they were like the on and off relationship in high school that nobody wants to be in, which was kind of ironic and funny, but at the same time I kind of felt bad. Just, I don't know why, but anyways, so they were the on and off type of relationship. Well, while they were together, between me and Hailey, it was nothing but constant arguing and babbling and all this other stuff. Like, she wasn't my sister anymore. She was a completely different person. I remember I was going to school, and it was just like the hardest time in my life, because I remember so vividly we would have these arguments over who loved who more, and you don't know him, but I know him. Like, you don't know him like I do, and you don't love him like I do, and you never loved him, and he never loved you. No, you know, it was a really, really bad time in my life, and that was the time in my life where it wasn't too good, because anyways. So a few months goes by, and Hailey starts talking to her ex again, and then they break up for good, and then her ex and Hailey get back together. So the guy that I was with is completely out of the picture for both of us, and Hailey is happy with her ex that she was with a really, really long time ago, and all this other stuff. So it's a little confusing, but there was a really long time. There was like a 5-month span where we did not talk at all. And then there was another span of time where me and Hailey did not talk at all, because she was choosing another friend over me. Which is the worst thing that you can do when you're in a friendship with somebody for so long, because there was this girl, Cristina, and I know that I'm probably gonna get trashed on for saying her name, but I really don't care because it's part of the story. So this girl, Cristina, never really liked me because her ex was my ex, and there was like this whole constant thing of you were with him when he was with me or something. Anyways, so it was a dumb reason, but she hated me with everything in her, which is fine, you know, but you know, it was just the dumbest thing ever. Needless to say, Hailey was choosing Cristina over me for everything. Like, everything. It's like they would post things on Instagram, be like, my sister with a heart emoji, you know what I'm saying? And I'd have to be like, but she's my sister. You know what I'm saying? And it was just a bad time. So there was the whole thing with my ex, and then there was the whole thing with Cristina. And you know, I don't really have anything to say about either of those situations, other than it was the dumbest reasons that we could have ever come up with to stop being friends. But it happened, and we got over it. We've forgiven each other, and we're best friends today. So damn it, I am happy that we are still friends. I just really wanted to tell you guys this story just because I really don't want people to have like so high of expectations for like when it comes to like best friends and stuff like that, because no matter how long you've known each other or how close you are, they can turn on you. I'm not saying that they will turn on you, but they can, and it really, really sucks when they do. And you know, it's like what they say about relationships: if you really love him, then you'll let him go. If he comes back, then you know it was meant to be, or whatever. I don't even know. But like, I mean, like, I totally get that. Like, that's a thing. So I let her go for a while, and then we ended up coming back together, and now we're best friends again. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was such a hard time in our lives, and it was all because of a boy. You know, and that's like the dumbest part of it, and the thing that makes me the most mad, because I let my sister go because of a boy. And there was nothing that I could do. You know, I'll be honest. She's the most stubborn person I've ever met in my life. Sorry, Hailey. Because I know you're going to watch this in school. Whatever time it is. You're in school right now. Go to class! Anyways, yeah, life is hard, guys. Not gonna lie. I'm 15 years old. I'm gonna be 16 soon. And I really just, I've had so much tragic and loss in my life so far, and I'm only 15, you know. I mean, it's not Meredith Grey, don't get me wrong, but like, come on. Society, really? I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry if it offended anybody, and if it didn't offend anybody, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and like it, and then subscribe to my channel if you are not already. I can't talk. And then there's a little bell, it's a bell next to the subscribe button. You should press it so you get notified whenever my stupidity comes onto the internet. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I love you guys so much. Bye!
If your chick come close to me, she ain't going home when she supposed to pay. I'm getting money like I'm supposed to pay. I'm getting money like I'm supposed to pay. Oh, all my close to me.